Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
From the Matrix Home Solutions studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey.
Insert Democrat socialist here.
Runs the Democratic House floor for 30 plus years running. He's promising this and he's stealing that. Where can you get that kind of money? He's using your house like his own piggy bank. You ought to know by now. You can pay off your house here in Illinois, but you can never keep up with the taxes. Oh, how it's always been the plan to have a taxpayer pay, no doubt. Not a matter of if anymore, but when. You're moving out.
Dan and Amy, that theme music means it's time for a weekly confab with Ted Dabrowski, president of Wirepoints.com, all things Illinois policy related. But before we get to Ted, I know there was some Republican criticism of one Governor Spalding when the story came out that the trust that manages his money,
the Pritzker Group,
the trust managers, he put all his current investments into a trust.
He doesn't have any idea how it's being spent. No idea. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't talk to anybody in his investment group.
Well, Ronner did the same thing.
I know.
So let's not, get crazy here. But Illinois gave $2.6 billion worth of Medicaid contracts to Centene Corp. Each year, Pritzker does receive a copy of his investments from fund managers. During his 2018 campaign, he pledged to purge his investment portfolio of companies that held state contracts. However, in 2020, his portfolio managers invested in Centene Corp. Again, $2.6 billion worth of Medicaid contracts. And Pritzker could have instructed his trust managers not to invest in state contractors to eliminate the potential for a conflict of interest, or he could have told them to divest his stake in Centene Corp. Because of their $2.6 billion worth of Medicaid contracts. He did neither. So he's not doing anything illegal, but he's not doing what he said he would do in the interests of good government. Right? And this is old hat. I know this is old hat in Chicago and Illinois, politicians giving contracts to campaign donors and or friends and or companies
cousins
that they have a stake in. Yes, I get it. But, if you're going to present yourself as charting a new course, then we have to watch what course you chart, don't we? Well, the same goes for one mayor of Aurora, recently minted Republican.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh.
Richard Irvin, who's the Republican part of the Combine's choice for the Republican candidate for governor, because they want to keep the situation we've had as long as I've been on the planet, which is, as Bill Cellini said, memorialized in a John Cass column, when we're in, and when they're in, we're in. We're always in. Richard Irvin is going to fight tooth and nail to bring honest and good government back to Illinois. You've probably seen his commercials. You've heard him on our airwaves. But this, according to WTTW report, was Wilmette talking to Winnetka.
Thank you.
Who knew they cared. A review of public records finds a company that donated more than $135,000 to Irvin has received millions in city contracts with the city of Aurora.
Oh, looky here.
The same company was also the beneficiary of legislation, special use permit, pushed by Irvin that could prove lucrative. The Aurora Beacon News, first reporting the story in 2018, follows a pattern of Aurora businesses donating to Irvin and receiving tens of millions in public aid and tax incentives. The company in question in this story is Scientel Solutions, which is a telecom company now based in Aurora, I should say. $3.2 million in tech and security contracts Scientel has received during Irvin's tenure for the hundreds of thousands of dollars they've given in campaign contributions to his fund and to political funds affiliated with him. Is that a problem? Or is it only a problem when Democrats do it, which has basically been the Illinois Republican Party's position also since as long as I've been on the planet, which is why the Illinois Republican Party is generally a legal fiction, and which is why I so enjoy being lectured by combine Republicans about what it takes to win elections. Prof doesn't know how to win elections. We know how to win elections. You do? And then how are we in the super minority in the Illinois House and Senate and have been for the better part of a decade? How did the crime boss there, Mike Madigan from the Southwest Side, rule the roost for the last 4 decades? We know how to win elections. And to what ends in the rare occasion you do with a runner? How did that advance the flag for Illinois' future, those 4 years? Not to mention going back to George Ryan, Edgar, and Thompson. Anything to avoid conservative reform. That should be the Illinois Republican Party's motto. They're fraudsters. They have been. They continue to be. And Richard Irvin is their latest frontman. For more on this, now we're joined by Ted Dabrowski, president of Wirepoints.com. Ted, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. Thanks for having me. I'm in lovely Florida today, so it's pretty excited to be here.
Oh, good for you. And way to rub it in. I know people don't care where your campaign cash comes from. Pay to play is old hat here. It's passe. So, of course, you expect pay to play. So, what's the big deal with respect to Pritzker's blind trust or Richard Irvin's city contracts to campaign contributors?
Yeah, this is there's a big problem here, and you've covered Republicans a lot, and I from time to time say things that aren't nice, and I've gotten phone calls, saying, "Hey Ted, come on." And I try to remind people that.
Hey, Ted. Do we need to call Scientel in Aurora to get some telecom help for you? Where
are you on your cell? Are you under a tunnel?
Get that Al Franken dish on your head.
Oh, I'm on my cell. Is it not working well?
Oh, okay.
That's
now it
better.
Is. Now it's better.
Yes, just don't move around.
Yeah, don't move. Right, you're staying right there.
Not to move. Is it still okay?
Yeah, okay. All right. Now go ahead. You
All
received
right, so,
calls saying, "Hey, Ted, stop being mean."
Yeah, and the thing is, I try to remind people. People need to know, like Edgar. Edgar's the most popular Republican out there. And he did all kinds of things with these pensions. He increased benefits. He bragged about it. It's the biggest increase in 25 years. He, of course, did the pension ramp. He was as complicit as could be, and so was Thompson. So, what we need is hold both sides. Anybody. I mean, any person in Illinois should want to hold their elected officials, regardless of what party they're in, to account. And that's what we try to do. And if we don't, we end up with what we've had for the last 30, 40 years. So.
Now, have you ever reached out to Mr. Richard Irvin to see if he would talk to you in Wirepoints?
Well, I've talked to all the candidates in detail, several times. A little less Paul Schimpf. But Richard Irvin, at this point, we haven't talked yet. So I'm not sure. We have not talked. Let's put it that way.
I wonder if he's met Keith, or what's his name? Oh, my God, the Kingmaker. I'm like, Ken Griffith, because he said, they haven't met each other yet, which I think was a bold-faced lie. What do you think?
No, he probably have. Yeah. I think they have met now. I think when he said they had met, I don't think they had met because, Ken Griffin has bigger fish to fry than whatever's happening in the Republican Party in Illinois. He made his choice based on terrible advice from Team Ronner and his gatekeeper, Case and Carter, and then, we'll see how it plays out, see what happens on June 28th, and Ken Griffin will probably suffer more public embarrassment because of bad political advice, but we'll see. He'll either suffer that embarrassment on June 28th or he'll suffer it in November, but he's going to suffer it on one of those 2 dates.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to talk to him, and like all the other candidates, and, happy to talk to Democrats, too. What we pursue at Wirepoints is just good policy. Tax policy, we're trying to, we've reported on the out-migration, we're losing too many people, and, I don't see many of the laws that are being proposed right now on, certainly on the Democratic side, supporting keeping people here. I see some of the Republicans doing some good things, others not as good. But we still don't have the mentality of reform, compete. Look what Florida does. Look what Indiana does. We don't have to go very far, and we should copy paste.
Well, the Irvin thing too, in terms of a conversation with you. I mean, you saw how well it went for him when he talked to Flannery a few weeks back, and that was just on sort of like basic foundation level questions like abortion for a Republican candidate for governor, and that was too much for him to handle. So I doubt he's ready to talk about pensions. I also understand he takes one position on things like school choice publicly, and then he sometimes presents a different or a more middling position privately. So we've seen this act before. We've seen it just about every election cycle from one candidate or another. Sometimes the victor, sometimes not. And you would think that Illinois Republican primary voters would get wise to this, but I guess there's a contingent banking that they don't.
Well, they will. We have to see, but I guess it's always a surprise here. I think there are some, as I've been on here and I've heard from some of the candidates directly, they have some pretty good ideas, pro growth and some pension reform and things like that. So I just hope their voices are heard and then there's better competition across all of them. I mean, really what it is, the primary is a competition for ideas, and hopefully, they move the ideas to what we need, but we'll have to wait and see if that happens.
I know you don't like sort of flim-flam, ephemeral public policy that is sort of dressed up press release politics. So how do you view what a few states have done, which is to suspend the state gas tax during this period of high gas prices, and the calls in Illinois and the proposals, I guess, from some legislators to do the same here, to suspend the gas tax after Pritzker doubled it a couple of years back?
Yeah, I mean, the gas tax is certainly different. It depends on what state you're in. And let me, I just drove down to Florida. I left, Illinois, went to Indiana. It was 30 cents cheaper. Mm-hmm. Then I got into Tennessee, and it's 40 cents cheaper, and then Alabama 40 cents cheaper. It's so much cheaper. So I think when some states talk about some gas tax relief, they're doing it off of a much lower base of taxes. So they do it for a couple of years. That might feel like it's just a short-term thing, and maybe that's okay. Our gas taxes right now are something like 73 cents higher than Missouri. So we don't need like a 2 cent savings or something like that Pritzker proposed. And that's not even a saving. That's not raising it. We need real cuts. But, this all ties back into that capital bill, $45 billion, the biggest capital bill ever. All that stuff that's going on for different districts, all that spending that nobody really understands. It's a lot of phony spending backed by really high gas taxes. We need real reform, and we're not going to get that. I'd love to see it, but what we don't need is some temporary thing. We need a cut, a big cut.
Well, yeah, I mean, Mayor Lightfoot's thinking of rolling back the gas tax 3 cents a gallon here in Chicago. That's not going to do anything.
Yeah,
Ted, you're cutting out on us again. You've moved. You moved.
Uh-oh.
Shouldn't have moved.
We told you not to move.
Apologies.
All right.
Ted, don't breathe.
All right, last chance. We'll see.
He doesn't have a great connection, but I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll leave it
there.
He
must be in Florida.
We get the gist of your position. Go enjoy the beach. Ted Dabrowski, President, Wirepoints.com, all things Illinois policy related. Thanks, Ted.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
A while back, we at AmericanEagle.com were asked to build the e-commerce site of a major candy distributor. With the need for a website that could take into account everything from shipping times to local weather, because, candy melts, the task was not like taking candy from a baby. Fortunately, we live for a good digital challenge and free bonbons. So we got to work on a slew of complex integrations, including a shipping algorithm that factored in variables like distance, speed, and location. The website even let the end customer personalize their candy for special events, like weddings or, major website launches. When all was said and done, our client enjoyed a significant increase in traffic, which we were also well prepared for, and an increase in average order size. A sweet result indeed. For complex e-commerce sites, digital marketing, UX, and more, talk to the experts at AmericanEagle.com. Don't just grow, soar.
Dan just got a fancy book from one of his fancy friends. You want to tell us what it was?
We'll have to get him on. Andrew Clavin has a new book called The Truth and Beauty, where he looks at English poets and their
Relationship, religious
yeah, I mean, it's their
aspects or
yeah,
relationship with God.
yes, their God-related prose, exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, our good friend Mike Lindell, don't you know, has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. And he didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Oh, no. Mike's now changing the game again with this 6-piece towel set. If you haven't seen it, go to mypillow.com and check it out for yourself. It's made with USA cotton, making it extremely absorbent, yet still providing that soft feel you look for in a towel. It comes with 2 bath, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths, typically retailing for $109.99. But guess what? For a limited time, you can get this set for the low price of